Hello everyone, this is Group 10 and we are going to address the problem of deforestation and how it impacts our life. Also, how we as a society can contribute to control it. Our planet's forests are some of the most valuable resources we have. They provide us with clean air, a source of food, construction material, and much more. Even more importantly, forests are a major line of defense against climate change. A single tree can absorb as much as 48 pounds of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere each year, which makes them the most effective CO2 scrubbing machines we have. Despite this force, they are being systematically eliminated all across the world, a process we know as deforestation. Each year, 15 billion trees are lost to the deforestation and forest degradation. That's 36 football fields worth of trees a minute. And accelerating at this rate, the world's rainforest may be completely gone within 100 years. This makes deforestation responsible for around 13% of world's carbon emissions, making it a major driver of climate changing, not only doing the trees to absorb our carbon. When they are removed, much of the carbon that has stored is released. Their rapidly growing agriculture is responsible for the vast majority of deforestation demand for food. Meat forces millions of acres of forest to be cleared for cattle, soybean, and palm oil production, with timber and fuel extraction as well. As wildfires drive the partial destruction force is known as degradation. All of this is driven by a relentless economic expansion and population growth, both set to continue increasing dramatically while harvesting timber is necessary for our economy. Unrestrained deforestation can lead to the disruption of weather patterns and collapse of entire ecosystem, threatening our safety and other resources we depend on. So what's the solution? Can we stop this seemingly unstoppable force? The short answer is yes, but it will take some time. Research has shown that it is possible to decouple economic growth from deforestation by reconfiguring our supply chain and adopting sustainable land use policies. Thanks to the efforts of activists, policymakers, and businesses around the world, deforestation is actually slowing down in some regions. Finally, reforestation and afforestation efforts are growing worldwide. One tree planted works with partners all across the globe to restore damaged forests and plant new ones. You can become a part of these efforts by volunteering to plant trees in your area or supporting these initiatives abroad.
Human activity is the driving force behind deforestation. Several industries clear and develop forested land of their own purposes, including forest fire, paper, urbanization, and illegal logging. Some human-caused forest fires are accidental. Farmers and other land developers sometimes intentionally start fire as a way to clear forested land. Fires can eliminate entire populations of plant and animal species in an area, throwing off ecological balance and decreasing biodiversity. Around the world, logging companies harvest timber and wood from fallen trees. In some regions, national and international law protect forested areas from logging operations. However, companies continue to illegally harvest and sell timber from this protected area. Paper is one of the most obvious culprit deforestation. Paper is made from trees. Making 1 ton of paper requires 24 trees. The problem with paper doesn't end at the production process. When people live in cities, their incomes and consumption habits tend to rise, putting even more pressure on forests. To build structure for a growing population, urban developers turn to the logging and mining industry for wood and metals, encouraging this industry to cut down more forests for their operations. Increased consumption and development associated with urban growth can spell disaster for forested
deforestation. Plant a tree where you can. Planting a tree can be a lifelong investment into the environment. Go paperless. Reducing your usage of paper helps to prevent trees from being cut down and helps to reduce the amount of waste. Use recycled products. By choosing items made from recycled paper, you make a conscious effort to lower the demand for more timber. Reduce meat consumption. Don't buy meat products sourced from a land where forests have been cleared. Support organizations that fight deforestation. Numerous international and locally focused organizations strive to apply sustainable forestry practices. You can support it by making donations or perhaps participating in their volunteering programs. One Tree Plants is one of the non-profit organizations with a mission to help global reforestation efforts around the world. It has restored over 37 hectares of trees in 45 countries and has helped in capturing millions of carbon dioxide gas. Join a community forest project. Community forestry is carried out by the local residents, volunteers and schools with the support of the government. This forestry technique involves tree planting, timber harvesting, cleaning and forest conservation through the active involvement in the management of forest. Reforestation. Reforestation consists of planting deforested area to restore forests destroyed in the recent past. One great example is the Green Belt movement, and it has managed to plant 51 million trees in Kenya.
Many initiatives have been formed to combat the increasing rate of deforestation. The successes of these initiatives is proof of the possibility to restore environmental quality to the atmosphere. One of these incredible foundations include the Shandong Ecological Afforestation Project, who have made significant improvements in the environmental status of China. In Dongying, over 40% of land is tainted by concentrations of salt above 0.5%, turning the land barren and unable to inhabit plant life due to high soil salinity. The Shandong Ecological Afforestation Project was soon funded by the World Bank Organization in 2011, who funded the efforts to reduce soil salinity to below 0.3% where it can support plant life. Several companies, forest research organizations have joined in to support this project. Engineering measures and botanical breeding was conducted to ensure the reduction in salinity and the cultivation of salt-tolerant plant species. The local community gathered to support this movement of promoting landscape improvement and increasing biodiversity. In the year 2016, more than 13,800 hectares of saline land was now flourishing with plant life. Forest cover increased by 1.7%, proving that this project was extremely effective in afforestation.
Life on Earth could not survive without forests. The world has reached a tipping point, recognizing the urgent threat of climate change and the potential of forest-based natural climate solutions. It is evident that high-impact reforestation projects greatly contribute to the UN SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, which are designed for a greener, healthier, more peaceful, and more equitable planet. Here's the reason why. Reforestation is considered one of the best performing actions in combating the climate crisis, as it plays a key role in offsetting greenhouse gases, meeting SDG goal number 13, climate action. The fact that reforestation can revitalize vital ecosystems, thus helping to conserve global biodiversity and recreate natural habitats, also contributes to the SDG goal number 15, life on land. It also contributes to a number of goals aiming at poverty, hunger, and economic growth, as reforestation can help local communities economically, culturally, by bringing tourism, providing jobs and training, and bringing life back to their lands. Therefore, it is high time corporations in all sectors align their business strategy with the SDGs as a voluntary initiative to promote a culture of corporate social responsibility on a global scale.
Imagine you are cast into a bustling metropolis, nestled in a lush mantle of tropical greenery. By 2050, over 65% of the world will be living in cities. The urban planners can rely on the ecosystem services that green infrastructure can provide, thus giving birth to a green city that's covered with green flora and a resilient habitat for existing populations, along with its social and economic benefits. Like the one Singapore is investing in, the city in the garden. Singapore has interwoven nature into the design, like the green buildings that in its design can create positive impacts on our climate and natural environment by orienting green covered walls and roofs into the building. A future where man lives in accordance with nature by the design that integrate forests into cities, like the present forest city of Malaysia. City planners can lay an eco-friendly foundation, but it's up to the people living in these urban forests to make them home for more than humans. Remember, future is what you make of it.
As we see the stories among, we can know that there are many ways to solve the deforestation. If the lands do not have the plants on them, it may cause the lands to get dry and rises the temperature in the worst situation. Also, it makes all animals die of hunger, since most of the plants are the food for most of the species in the forests. Some things we introduced to have similar methods in our everyday life that can save the forest, such as we have the tablets, computers, the SD cards, and other electronics to save our data for our everyday lives that can help us not to use the papers coming from the trees. This helps reducing the number of trees being cut down. These days, we see the plants being planted on the top of the buildings to prevent the heat coming up to the sky, which causes the rise of the temperature. Like in Singapore and Malaysia, they have the places called the forest city. It helps keep the good harmony between the buildings and the plants. In this way, we know the deep importance of preventing the deforestation. If we think about the forest, why not move now? Let us all help the forest and the animals' lives.
We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, make a better day.